Okay, so today is January 21st, 2026. Tuesday, right? No, Wednesday. Oh my God. Wednesday, January 21st, 2026. We're doing a trade recap. Today, winning day. Big winner. Huge winner. I'm up 2.4K across all accounts today. And all of them were fundeds. No evals. I actually don't have any evals right now, which should probably be something I'm looking to change here soon. But besides the point, let's get straight into it. Yesterday I didn't make a trade recap. Extremely busy yesterday. Not much happened. I did lose across two accounts. It was a very small loss. It was like 200 each, 400 total for the day. But I did pass another funded on Top Step. So that's pretty cool. But getting into today's trade recap. What's this? No idea. Okay, whatever. Let's get rid of this. So, looking at the higher time frame here on the 4 hour, we don't really have much. We have some relatively equal highs over here on NQ, which I guess you could kind of say we have them on ES, but they're not as close together. 4 hour, nothing too interesting going on in the 4 hour except this drawn liquidity right here, which I don't even think was formed or was even a drawn liquidity when market opened. Could be wrong though. But scaling down to the 1 hour, here's where it gets juicy, right? So, oh, that's what it was. Oh, of course. We have a hourly unfilled fair value gap right here. And same thing on ES. Oh, that's what that was. It's an hourly unfilled fair value gap. And it's a little cheeky one. You can't really see it, but if you zoom back far enough, we have a SMT divergence right from the 18th of December. So NQ took out these lows right here, as we can see. ES, as a matter of fact, did not take out these lows right here. Okay, so that the SMT divergence, the relatively equal highs over here on NQ, and the unfilled hourly gap led me to have a fairly strong bullish bias for the day. It wasn't like crazy strong, right? And the only reason it wasn't crazy strong is because of this right here, right? So after the SMT was formed, before market even opened, we ended up taking out Asia highs, which technically kind of complete an SMT, you could call it, because they took out the high, but I was still very optimistic. I was still very optimistic because we still hadn't filled out this hourly gap. Okay, so bias is bullish for the day. NQ is a little more favorable just because we have closer highs right here. Cool. Scaling down to the 5-minute time frame, or actually, let's go down to the 30-minute. We really didn't have anything. 15-minute time frame. Haha. 15-minute fair value gap right here. Same thing on ES. 15-minute gap. Okay. Scaling down even further to the 5-minute time frame. Here's where it gets interesting. Okay. Not really. But we also have a 5-minute gap right here. this 5-minute gap, you could consider this. No, this isn't an inversion, but it's very close for its, very close to being an inversion. Because why? We had a wick. Oh no, we did not inverse this at all. I didn't even see that. We swept out Asia highs. We came all the way down right here. If honestly, if I didn't map out this 15-minute gap, I would have had a very mixed bias for the day. But I'm very glad we mapped out this 15-minute gap right here, right? So we come down, we retrace into this 15-minute fair value gap. From there, we break structure. We do not break structure. From there, we come up a little bit. I don't have an entry here, okay? Where I do have an entry though, or no, I did enter here. Let's see. There you go. Okay, so my entry was right here, but I'm pretty sure my entry was closer to right here. No, it couldn't have been. Yeah, so my entry was right here. Once we inverse this 1-minute gap, signifying a change of order flow on the 1-minute time frame after rejecting off of a 15, a higher time frame fair value gap, right? So we come in, even though we take out these Asia highs, we had so much liquidity down here. We were so far extended to the downside that we swept up enough liquidity. We picked up enough liquidity. These Asia highs just warranted a retracement. Okay, from there, 1-minute inverse. You wait for the gap to actually inverse, and I didn't wait for the gap to inverse because I did enter on this candlestick, but we were so far above this gap, the odds of it wicking all the way back down were very slim to none, and I was in with only 2 contracts because these stops had to be pretty tight or pretty big. Okay. From there, I entered across 4 different accounts. On 3 of those accounts, 3 of those accounts were on Alpha. This is the only Top Step account that I entered off of. On the Alpha accounts, and I can actually show you here, I had my TP at this hourly unfilled. Okay. I wanted to play it a little more safe with these accounts, mainly because of consistency rules, and they are my accounts that I guess you could say I've had for a little longer. Actually, I don't know why I decided to play it safer on the Alpha accounts. Oh, consistency, that's what it was. Yeah, I was right the first time. I couldn't make more than 500 per account because then I would have to my profit target for me to be able to request a payout would get bumped up. So I would be shooting myself in the leg. Even though I made more money, I would still need to make even more money to get to a payout. So I was like, okay, let's just keep these pretty low and just get a payout on these. Let's make it as easy as I can to get a payout. Top Step, on the other hand, does not have a consistency rule. So what did I do? I had TP1 set right here at the beginning of this fair value gap. Okay, the hourly unfilled. And I actually when did I move stops to break even? I'm trying to figure out here. Or when we when we took out Asia highs again, when we touched Asia highs. Maybe. Let's see. Yeah, definitely when we took Asia. Okay, yeah. As soon as we touched Asia highs, stops went to break even. Now, you're like, why? You may be thinking, wouldn't it be wiser to have stops at break even once at least TP1 hits? And no, that's because there was no reason for us to retrace down here to my entry. There just simply wasn't a reason. Okay. Asia highs already got taken, right? So that wouldn't be a valid point of liquidity at all. Okay. If it was, it wouldn't even come this high. It would just come up. It wouldn't take out these highs, and it would come back down. Okay. But the fact that we came all the way up, we took out these highs. Okay. If we was to come back down, it would be a reversal, right? Price would have reacted off of this liquidity right here. What is this? Pre-market? Yeah, pre-market high, and it would have came back down to take out this liquidity. Okay. So me moving stops to break even, and also here we have nothing to retrace into. We don't have a fair value gap here on the 5-minute, nothing on the 15, 30. Forget about it. Hourly, nothing. We didn't even fully form the hourly candle by that point. The only thing I could see that we could retrace into here are these 1-hour gaps, but it would be very unlikely. There would be no reason for us to come down here. Okay. Maybe you could say equilibrium. Okay. Equilibrium is down here. But then again, what was this? This was our retrace here. Our high time frame retrace. Right? Look at this. Check this out. This leg down, what I entered off of, this 15-minute fair value gap, this was our high time frame retrace. Okay. Look at that. Took out equilibrium. Didn't get anywhere near the 0.786 extension. Kind of floated around in here a little bit between equilibrium and 0.618. And we came up, right? So that was our high time frame retrace. So again, if price was to come all the way back down to my entry after it's been over here, that means price is going to reverse. Right? It's going to make a reversal, and it's going to go towards sell side liquidity. From there, TP1 got hit. And here is where I was a little iffy. I didn't know whether I should just take full take profit at this gap or whether I shouldn't, right? And that's because even after we hit this gap, right? I mean, from my entry, well, actually, the first relatively equal high on NQ is 230 points away. Okay, that is a lot. That is a big move. Okay, and then from this hourly gap, that's 87 points, right? It's nothing too crazy, but this hourly gap it had me nervous a little bit. I can't lie, right? But I was like, you know what? Let's hold it. I took full profits on my other accounts, and I was like, let's just leave one contract to run on this one. Whatever happens, happens. I still ended up being profitable on this trade. Worst case scenario, I just make a little less compared to the rest of my accounts. Best case scenario, I bang out 230 points. Okay, and that's actually what happened. We made a little 5-minute retracing here, Actually, yeah, made a little 5-minute retrace at after hitting this hourly gap. What do we do from here? How do we know if it's a retrace and not a reversal, right? Or if it's going to respect the confluence? We look for a break of structure on the lower time frame, which happened right here. So after this happened, I'm like, yeah, we're for sure coming up to take out these highs right here. And I just let it run. And yeah, beautiful trade today. I'm really happy I noticed that SMT, the hourly SMT. Something I could have done differently, maybe. Entered more contracts. That's really the only thing I can think of. Up my risk a little bit. Actually, maybe not, because these are 63-point stops. And my max daily drawdown for any of my accounts as of right now is $250. So that would not be within my risk parameters. So adding more contracts would have been off the table. And me moving stops, I guess, maybe to like right here for 40-point stops. What's the math on that? Sorry, I'm terrible at math. This can't be that bad. Yeah, so I could have done that, I guess. Had my stops a little tighter and just added an extra contract. Could have done that. I definitely shouldn't have added on. Like, I know a lot of people would tell me, why didn't you add on to the position when we had this valid 5-minute retrace and a 1-minute break of structure? Again, we were already floating in, what was it, 130 points in profit. That's usually on a normal day how big the moves are. So I think I did pretty good. I'm very satisfied with my trading today. Could I have let it run a little more? I don't know. Let's see. Holy, what's going on here? I didn't even notice this. What's this all about? That's so weird. Whatever. Doesn't matter. I'm not trading this. This is all I'm focused on right here. When was my entry? Let me see. I mean, I entered a little bit earlier than kind of, I guess, my rules state. But it was a good reason behind that. So yeah, 2.4K across, or all together in 4 accounts, profit for the day. No complaints, beautiful trades. Anyways, take it easy.